Hi, I teach online bookbinding workshops, and we usually start off with a quick explanation about the grain of the board and how important it is to have this the right way around, have it vertical in your books. So what I thought was, rather than repeat this in all the workshops, I'll just take this out into a short little video, and then you can watch this before you come to the workshop. So when paper and board is made by machine, it's made of fibres, and the machines lay all the fibres down in parallel to each other, so all the fibres will end up pointing in the same direction. Now, quite an extreme way of kind of visualising this is to think about a bit of corrugated paper or corrugated card, and in this case we can imagine that the fibres of the card all facing in this direction. So what that means, of course, is that the card bends very easily in this direction, but it doesn't bend at all in this opposite direction. So if this was your book, what you want to do is make sure that the fibres are vertical, so it's grain vertical, so that if your book's on a bookshelf, it's pretty sturdy. If you made a book with the grain horizontal and you put your book on the bookshelf, it's not going to be at all sturdy. So I make my books using a 2mm grey board for the covers, and I buy large sheets. And when they're large, it's very easy to tell which way the grain goes. So I'm just going to hold this up and demonstrate. So this board bends very easily one way, and it doesn't bend so easily this way. So it bends best that way. So that means the grain is up and down. So what I do is I will actually take a pencil and mark the up and down on the grey board. So I mark the board which way the grain is pointing, and that's because once you start cutting this into smaller pieces, it's actually really difficult to tell which way the grain is. Now the grain's still there even in the small pieces, but if you've got this, then it's just a bit easier to tell. And then to avoid confusion, when I'm marking out and measuring the size of the board that I want, I just turn that over and then I do all the measurements on the other side, but just always checking that I've got the grain vertical. So just to show you what I mean, so this is a fairly typical size book that I make. This is an A5 with a Coptic binding. So obviously this is going to be standing up on the bookshelf like this, so that means the grain needs to be going up and down vertical. So these are the pieces of card that I would cut out, and just making sure that the grain is vertical for when we cover the book. So that's all I wanted to say. So hopefully that's been of some use, and look forward to seeing you on one of my workshops.